Thondeka mwiroreri haha mbere yakwa he mwanake witagwo Irakiza na hindi ciothe he smile agatumona ni smile wega nigetha tuhote gukorwo tugikatabarira wega na by the way ni wega umuthi to appreciate the behind the camera team camera team ire koragwo na ithu andu technical andu lighting othe acio matumaga tucanjamuke othe nginya lead andikamutige othikae gwa kuigana gwa kuinuka la mobi all the team matumikaga tukene magatucanjamura na nigetha tukahota na ithu kuhota gucanjamuka na tukagia na uhoro wigie kuhota kumutungata na njira ya raithi na gikeno. So karibu sana uguo wona thiini wa studio riu tirita riake ria mbere mgeni siku ya kwanza si ndio? Alafu siku ya pili leo pia mgeni riu rita siku ya pili si mgeni na siku ya tatu apewe jembe akalime
nipewe nipike githeri
riu guku no tukuheire wira wa riri tondu hematologist tukuhe wira wa kwira andu macoke kwiyumiria marute thakame na ngucira ni uraiguire. By the way, speaking on that note, ona gutuka hitaregi mororeri ngwenda kwamba gukwira kira tukwariria maundu megamaine na uhoro wigi bone marrow mairimu ire koragwo hitaregi egamaine na uhoro wigi bone marrow transplant na hitaregi cancer ziri ingihota kunyitana na uhoro wigi bone marrow na maundu macio mothe treatment cio mithemba ya treatment icio ciothe. So karibu sana haria hothe uri haria nguthiaga ndagitari tana kwira ugeithanie ni riri twina kuratuika kwina unyihu wa thakame bururi-ini na unyihu uroka ni tondu people have resisted donating blood. Ndirenda kuingira hau muno ona gutuika ni kuratuika gati thakame cokete kwendio nja wa bururi na koguo andu maigua uguo na meyonera na aria mahusika thiini wa transactions icio nao makaga gukorwo ni andu agukira magakiumburania irigo haria maumbikire koguo so out of maundu matiganite andu magatuika like hawana moral si tuseme hivyo sasa tuongee ile lugha yetu kama millennials so watu wamekosa moral ya kutoa damu ketwari ru na giku andu ni magite motisha
when a lot of myths
yes
and misconceptions na blood donation
yes
but a very important subject as a dagitari wa thakame as a hematologist tukarona challenge ya kwaga thakame in our blood banks ni undu Kenyans matikoragwo na culture ya kudonate thakame as a by the way what you can say as in any normal person no donate after every 3 months itagwo voluntary donation
yes
and a Kenyan law itagwo voluntary
yes
ndugufatairwo kurihwo kana any remuneration ya kuruta thakame
yes
but in Kenya koragwo atiriri andu marutaga thakame always because of a patient or a relative so blood bank ya most hospitals koragwo na yena thakame so a patient comes as an emergency gutire thakame in a blood bank so you have to wait for your relatives to come maybe when Nairobi relatives megeshagi no moka mobilize moke kuma geshagi so it can take several days just to transfuse.
Gurie Dr. Githaiga turero hau ha blood transfusion aikoro thiini wa blood bank citu tutiri na thakame njiganu na maybe ni murarora thiini wa stock cianyu tondu ni mugitutaririe mwanake etagwo Roba KU atutaragirie muno ria mwigaga thakame na hi tarege aikoro bururi ta Israel Egypt taru sorry to say githe tigwaga UK kurafatarania thakame makameruta US and vice versa. Kenya ni tukinyete hau like kwamenya atiriri blood group A hakui guthira na nirafatarania kuna na guku twino nyihua kina tutike matwarire na no hakui gwika ati kurikia matuko ma ku expire na matureherere turafatara mbona hatujafika hapo na venye tunatoa taxes mingi
gukoragwo na lots of laws regional laws cia Kenya cia US na cia let's say Israel. Number 2, wa donate the camera, it is only viable for 35 days. Okay? Number 3, onakuro America there is never an excess of blood anywhere. It's either just enough or a bit low. but in other countries makoroga na programs ya remuneration kana kuri hado. In Kenya we don't pay people, so you see when you pay people kwena andu maragwa de moharu kethie thibitari donate plasma donate thakame niguo kuhe mathafu but we discourage that because you get sometimes it is safe. Uramenya wena kamurimo samwa but because you are being paid ugathi uga donate
itadege todo
there are programs in the big hospitals, for example, especially expatriates aya ma UN adu asiage thakame ciao ni very rare. Most common blood group Kenya ni ici O positive, A na B. Okoro kwena very rare blood groups that O negative, B negative. So there are other programs that can do, but not in a large scale. So, but in Kenya, I think tufuatayo kuona culture ya kudonate voluntarily, safely, na timu waka ikorone ni relative waku. So if we encourage that, even from the young, so from the young people, it is indoctrinated in CBE, CBC.
CBC.
It's like a patriotism kind of thing. Every 3-6 months, you donate. But also, to meet sishi nyige, thakame ne radio, you overdonate, it is wasted. Also discourages a lot of people. So sometimes what happens when a tragedy, adomade makadonate, then you cannot utilize it, and we had said that blood is can only last for 35 days. I'm not sure, but I do not. Some very limited programs because when a lot of blood is very sensitive, so it has to be screened. It has gone through the proper channels and everything. But not normal at Uganda, to import, kana to export Uganda.
Rewe sawa, thakame ino niyo turaririria. Na muno haria turahutia ni haria bone marrow haria wairika kujira tiririria wairika gucera guku. Ati niho thakame ikaga atia ithondekagirwo kana bone marrow nikyo kiganda gia guthondeka thakame.
Ni factory kana mugunda wa thakame.
Niguo. Bone marrow basically tutaririe ikoragwo ha mwiri-ini.
Bone marrow ni nagikone tobo ya mahende. Ikoragwo in ya ciana in all the long bones. Itagwo bones ciothe. Mahende mothe. But wakura it's usually in the ribs, kana baru, the pelvic bone. Okay. And some of the other the vertebrae. So bone marrow neo factory ya thakame neo thondekaga hemoglobin, thondekaga platelets, thondekaga WBC, kwena cells itago plasma cells and other immune cells. So wakorona any problems with bone marrow niguo ugiaga itago anemia. Anemia is thakame kwaga kwena kindu kingi platelets ciagari itagwo thrombocytopenia. Any WBC kana white blood cells ciaga itagwo leukemia. And everything has its own problems and presentation.
Function cia bone marrow tugiuga niki?
So making guthondeka blood and blood products, guthondeka products cia immunity, na kuregulate indo ta icio. And storage, it negaga other minerals, calcium, vitamins, iron, neta store, muthemba wa store.
Okay, calcium na uhoro wige iron Good.
But calcium mainly in the bones. The bone marrow itself iduta iron that some of the vitamins.
And also today ni ndramenya kana umuthi no tukuhutia mwiroreri uhoro wigi cancers ikonaine na uhoro wigi bone marrow na uhoro wigi transplant ni gwite uhoro wigi bone marrow transplant ni ukinyete guku Kenya. Yes, au twebere ara tweberere ke tugetikagira andu itu tondu na inyuĩ nĩ kaundu kamwe gathuka kana as long as yes atitega gutiri undu Kenya mona mwega. So reke rimwe tukona tuge atiriri yes finally twina uhoro wigi kuhota gwika bone marrow transplant thĩinĩ wa Kenya. So far nĩ njũĩ thibitarĩ igĩrĩ. So Dr. Githaiga hena ũndũ ũngĩ wa bone marrow watwĩra making blood products ũnjĩre kana nĩtwanyita and sometimes uhoro wigi storage of calcium and iron.
Yeah, all those blood components, vitamins, iron, indo icio ciothe.
Regulation ya kĩndũ henayo.
A few, yeah. So, cause mwĩrĩ nita factories. Everything is connected to each other. When one fails, the other one can also fail. So failure, let's say higori, can lead to affecting the bone marrow and vice versa.
Okay. Good. Tondu by the haha uhoro igi ni kurendo bone marrow yao ni aga kuruta wira na njira ya gwirire kuma hau tukambia mirimu.
So could be because of many reasons. Tucokere uria tu classifyaga acquired and congenital.
Mirimu ya bone marrow.
Mirimu ya bone marrow. So acquired ni iduta itago nutritional deficiencies. So not enough iron, not enough vitamins, not enough those nutrients. Nutrients nita fertilizer. Tamo the bio fertilizer. Akoro dure fertilizer enough, the products are not very good. And then you can have congenital. Congenital ne two mutations from birth. Those mutations now can affect the cells in the bone marrow. Okay, so it can from very early, kuma 6 months, or very as late as 20 years of age. Kwena mirimota, for example, itago like the common one in Kenya called Fanconi's anemia. The mutation, mudu ukimurora ekoragwo na to genetic malformations, like ciara ciamatu, so they can present oramona mwana tinomo somehow kwena itago fasces. Fasces.
So rushia igakorwo
so a bit funny. So sometimes those any mutations here how and eventually the bone marrow is affected. So they can present now mirimosia bone marrow.
No twike DNA tumenye kana ni ka Dr. Githaiga na bone marrow. Reke tuge ka Dr. Kairu. Kana ni ka Wambui kende kireho nigetha hahuthe.
Not hematology, not my field, but yes, you can do from both blood, thakame, na genetic testing. So thakame amenya blood groups it is determined by the father and the mother. So akuro, let's say we O, maitogo AO, dogo AO, and then you toke AB. It is very unlikely. Okay, so a very crude example. Then after that, then you got the DNA. Then DNA turarora maternal DNA, the paternal DNA. Turarora, is there any similarities? Can there differences? So if they are very, very different, you can say, hey, these ones are not related.
Acquired tuneno nutritional deficiency na tuna henegi.
Kwena nyingi drugs, kwena dawa cia affectaga bone marrow as a side effect. Dawa cia antibiotics as a side effect. Dawa cia cancer ni cia affectaga. Okay. Kwena indo itago kindu ta radiation ni iko affect bone marrow. Okay. kana poisoning, what we call heavy metal poisoning. So ado mekaga factory cia heavy metal. So they really have to protect themselves. Ado marutaga wira kwena radiation nyingi. Radiation department in a hospital. X-ray indo ta icio. Kwena radiation ici cia nuclear. Ona cio adugere no magie bone marrow failure.
Aya hau ha uhoro wa dawa ndetĩkanie tondu he mutumia Joy, I would say our family friend, ari na cancer ya kundu kungi. Ambĩrĩria gwĩka chemotherapy, radiotherapy, all of a sudden multiple myeloma ya tuthuka. So rĩu oragia bone marrow yakwa mũthimĩte, platelets mũthimĩte, ndirĩ na thĩna kũndũ, rĩu oragia ndamĩruta kũ. So hematologist ũrĩa wokire tawe nĩwe wamwĩraga ni side effect ya
there's a possibility is a side effect, or sometimes kutodu mutation icio ri wamuhe chemotherapy hakanini ri aka develops afterwards. But there are kwena mirimo etagwo chemotherapy kana therapy related cancers. Mundu ena cancer, let's say a breast, avie radiation, avie chemotherapy, 5-10 years later a develop kido ta leukemia kana yo myeloma.
Too unfortunate. Rewe actually yes, tondu ninyonete kesi no share stage 2. Na uria rigitagwo kihona aikarite after some time niguo lirio tirire wana corona cancer gyakuga kimura. That is it. So nitugucoka na rimwe ngucire ni wega turiaririria uhoro wigie side effects ya mirigitire ya cancer. Andu ingi ni makanaga kana makageria hi kuonania aca kwaria maginya marigitari rimwe, but ni kahinda twitikire ati side effects ya mukurigitwo cancer shikuo na nä tå rä ciario ro haha no umuthi turariria horo ige bone marrow mirimu itiganite na cancer zire cikonaine na bone marrow mirigitire yacio mithemba ya bone marrows kana transplants icio ciothe tugucitukania haha umuthi ni haria tugaga mchuzi mix koguo uria kiuria giaku thiini wa 22488 na tugicokereria ndugathi hanene. Tugicokereria tugicunji gia keri na gicunji giki gia keri ati na Dr. Githaiga na Dr. Githaiga ni ngurire tago Boniface Cairo still na ni hematologist kana mutaaramu wa mirimo ya thakame na ugo ni kuga ati no ahote kurigita murimo ro wothe witanitio no horo wa thakame. Ni ngurire ati thiini wa Kenya hematologist ni very rare. Andu marari very rare hindi ingi kana maratarari mataronekaga muno ni neurosurgeons no riu ni mongererekeire riu neurologist na hematologist ni riu ni tukwenda tuongerere uguo na ni wega ni tondu ni murathi muthomete. So daktari ni twari uhoro wigie acquired tondu tukwaragia mirimo itiganite ya uhoro wigie bone marrow ni twero niho kiganda gia guthondekera thakame na rimwe hi tarigi still no kugie na mathina matiganite ma bone marrow kana andu makoro bone marrow yo ndirahota kuruta thakame na tworia itumi niki Dr. Boniface atwira ati no gukorwo na acquired reasons and genetical reasons. Imwe twerwo ni nutritional kana hi tarigi mundu gukorwo ati ndarari uria kwagirire mutations dawa imwe cia kurigitwo mundu ararigitwo cancer igacoka tarigi hi tarigi kamure hera thina antibiotics iria tutinda hatukirwo tutigotinda tukimenyera kunywa na ithuĩ no kwigurira. So maundu ta macio maingi no kuria kungi kuigwa no ahetukirwo ke gutume thiini wa view sasa nigetha tuthare mahinda nigetha tuote guthii na mbere twina maundu maingi. So tukihari genetical
when you talk genetics kwina genetics cia muciari he mwana na kwina genetic acquired during the lifespan. So tondu mutations icio so kwena mutations cia bone marrow cirarehe mirimu ta kwena itago myeloproliferative neoplasms, a big word in githungu. So icio nita chronic cancers cia bone marrow. So mundu kaga ugathi ukona HB yake iguru muno. Jugire HB maximum should be around 17-18. HB ya mundu ikaragwo 20-22-23 na ikaragwo na side effects nyingi kwina ĩngĩ ĩtagwo myelofibrosis. Myelofibrosis wĩna fiber nyingĩ mũno bone marrow. Koguo nĩ ta bone marrow ihũirie ria, koguo ria rĩaingĩha rĩ, ũramenya
mũmera nĩ ũkwaga kĩndũ gĩa kũrĩa ũkahinja.
Kwĩna ĩngĩ ĩtagwo essential thrombocythemia. Essential thrombocythemia nĩ ya platelets. Platelets cikaingĩha mũno, na ciaingĩha rĩ, sometimes they have the opposite effect. Cikareha mũrimũ ya clotting. Na kwĩna ĩngĩ ya HB ĩkoragwo na mutation ya kĩndũ kĩtagwo JAK2 kana JAK2 mutation. So indo icio ciothe rĩ nĩ chronic conditions of the bone marrow. Na they present in different ways.
Kwĩ cancer zitiganĩte iria cikoragwo ciumanĩte na ũhoro wĩgiĩ bone marrow, nĩcio ndĩrenda tũrore kahinda-inĩ gaka.
So kwĩna cancer cia thakame, kwĩna cancer ya thakame twĩtaga leukemias. Now leukemias nĩ ikoragwo na what we call acute and chronic. So acute
acute rĩrĩ nĩ ĩikarĩte kahinda kanini,
kana
chronic ĩikarĩte kahinda karaya
nĩguo acute and chronic. Then kwagwo na ĩngĩ ya ngaĩ tũmĩtaga lymphoma. Lymphoma ĩyo rĩ nĩyo andũ maugaga nĩ stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Okay, depending on the presentation. So na ĩngĩ the other most common itagwo myeloma kana multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma rĩ kwĩna cell ya kwa tobo ya mahĩndĩ itagwo plasma cell. So plasma cell ĩyo rĩ normal percentage kwa bone marrow ikoragwo 1 to 2%. No en myeloma rĩ ĩgatuĩka kĩndũ ta 50, 60, 70%. Tugire nĩ kĩndũ ta ria 1 to 2% kwa mũgũnda rĩ, no 1 to 2% nĩ normal.
Nĩ kanini.
But when ria becomes 50, 60% rĩ, you can see
mimera bebe itikũgetheka.
So and they have yokaga clinically presentaga different ways. So tuge leukemia, twambĩrĩrie na leukemia. So leukemia kwĩna indo ĩtagwo acute kahinda kanini. So that one ni abnormal cell, what we call a blast, kwa bone marrow. So like the plasma cells, blast should be less than 1%. So a blast ikiingiha rĩ ikorwo more than 20% rĩ with other symptoms twitaga nĩ leukemia. Ikogoro nĩ blast ĩyo, so twĩtaga acute leukemia. So mũndũ okaga ena features cia anemia, platelets ciĩ thĩ. So they can present as bleeding, bleeding from the mouth, from everywhere. Kura few. Yeah, so that that bleeding disorder can be a form of suggestive of leukemia, but not always. To dore blast ciaingĩha ona immune cells igere ni nyihaga, so they can present with infections. Okay. So they depend, and many other things. So magoka thibitari ri, so we do some of those tests.
Before to get test, Dr. Githaiga, njĩtĩkĩrie ngũrie, leukemia no yambĩrĩrie mũndũ mũnini?
Majority leukemia ikoragwo
ĩgacoka gũtuthũka mũndũ aneneha.
Actually the leukemia huaga ikoragwo na two peaks. We mũnini, then wakura.
Yes.
Cia childhood re, leukemia re, they actually nĩ igwaga dawa gũkĩra cia adults. So treatment, they actually cures, they are more in children than in andũ akũrũ. But akorwo nĩ acute leukemia re, you cannot stay with it 20 years. In 1 or 2 in less than 1 year it will present. It's very fast, that's why itagwo acute. But the chronic leukemias re, no, you can stay with it years. Na ndũngĩmenya.
Na ndũĩ. Mwĩrĩ na ndũĩ kana nĩ ũrĩ.
but until it affects the bone marrow ri abirire kugea anemia thrombocytopenia niguo kana kunoga kana kwina kindu itagwo rariugo spleen nene haga becomes very big.
Murorari ni kina gikuyu tuteithie 22488 tondu rariugo ni pancreas. Spleen sha. Spleen tukuhota mututeithie mutwire.
Amenya one of the many symptoms of leukemia ri ni spleen kuneneha. So akorwo mundu ena spleen nene muno ikahihinya nda koguo ndahota kuria aria kindu kinini ni ahona. So mundu ucio ukaga thibitari agicomplain dara complain about leukemia, complain about ndirahota kuria, ndaria kindu kinini ndahona, ndambiriria kuhinja muno, kana ena thina kana ngai cinenehete, kana anemia. Then when you investigate, that's when you find the leukemia. Okay? So yes, they don't matiokaga makiuga ati ndina leukemia kana ndina eno, but when you investigate, that's when uramakoro mena leukemia kana the lymphoma iyo. Na lymphoma tuga ni cancer ya ngai.
Okay. Iri ya makiene ino ya riri ati mundu araura na kundu guothe.
Kwena types ya leukemia ri kwena subtypes. In the acute leukemias kuna geitagwo acute myeloid leukemia, geitagwo acute lymphoid leukemia. Some of the acute myeloid leukemia ri shikoragwo na a lot of bleeding, so they can present with bleeding emromo, nose bleeding. They can present even bleeding in the brain yatobo, as in todo material platelets. And those bleeding factors they must consummate, so they just bleed.
Uwona gufatara kuongererwa
thakame, plasma, platelets na urgent chemotherapy treatment. So that's why it is very important they come early. When they come early, something can be done. No matter sometimes it might be too late.
Tondu he handu nguregire Dr. Githaiga, and sorry for that, tondu nguregire kia wega utugetha uge ni ukwambiririe gutuhe uria hitaringi mundu kana lymphoma, mundu kana uhoro wigie acute and chronic leukemia, maundu maria hitaringi mugwika nigetha mumuthari. Na hitaringi ndi kana no tamacio wa gweta kahirini gaka kana ntukuhave kumagira ringi.
We can always go back.
So nio kana leukemia either ni chronic kana ni acute, muko mutangikira atia? So
agiukari twikaga itagwo basic test. Basic test ni blood works, kurora HB hana atia, WBC ne cigana. Maita maige leukemia ri WBC cigaha becomes very many. Normal ni between 4 and 11. Mundu no na WBC cia 100, 200, 300. Platelets can be normal, kana kunyiha. But after that, turaroga test cia higo, cia ini, because they, like I said before, the body interacts with each other. So they might present with renal failure, kana higo kwena problem. Then we do the bleeding parameters, because bone marrow eke failure, liver eke failure, liver it is one that creates the bleeding factors. So when you have a liver failure, also bleeding factors nishi affect agu. So they can present with clotting, clotting komata kana bleeding.
Yani murimu mokarehe mirimu ingi taumaho kana maundu maingi mataumaho odia. Okay, ni maugima mwega wa mwiri ni kirathimo.
So hiyo ni leukemia. So tweka the basic test no mwaka tuthie factory tugire ni bone marrow. So bone marrow twekaga kindu itagwo bone marrow biopsy kana bone marrow aspirate. So twathie kwa etagwo pelvic bone,
na haria munyiginyigi
munyiginyigi
spinal cord,
acha spinal cord, pelvic bone. turatheca cindano ya local anesthetic alafu turaruta toboyo
mukagandia mundu na njira
mugadia faso alafu tukamitwara lab kwina many tests we do both cia lab cia genetic tests kurora mutations icio because the mutations kwina mutations tugaga ni favorable na iria ti favorable ni kuga atiriri twamuhe dawa ni akurikava kana kwina high chance ya kuri murimo ucio kuigwa dawa unfavorable it means the mutations the bad ones unamwahe dawa survival ti jaga the survival is not that good
wow good.
Yeah, so then the after bone marrow now is treatment. So treatment ni supportive ni kuga atiriri akorwo ena anemia turamuhe thakame akorwo ni platelets ciethe turamuhe platelets akorwo ena bleeding turamuhe kindu kitagwo plasma ni
one of the components
ikoragwo na those bleeding factors niguo and then turamuhe chemotherapy depending on the type of cancer.
Okay.
So chronic is a bit more forgiving. New, like I said, no corona murimo ucio even for many years na dokemenya. So it's forgiving. So even the treatment is we can afford to buy some time and treat.
Gucoka thiini wa gicunji gia gatatu ni tukuhota guthie na mbere uthirikana turaririria ici no kuhutiriria so tutirenda kuingira muno tondu turamenya hita ringi he maundu maingi muno ngibatara kumenya na ndirenda tukorwo ti hita ringi ni tugucererwo kumenya mithemba itiganite uhoro wigi bone marrow transplant gicunji-ini gia gatatu tucemanie rori ndugathi hanene. Gia gatatu welcome back twina hematologist o ni mutaramu kana specialist wa kwaririria uhoro wigi mirimo ya thakame kana kurigita mirimo ya thakame wajira guririkane tuhutie hanini uhoro wa CML nigetha tuthi haririri mithemba itiganite ya bone marrow transplant.
So CML ni muthemba wa cancer wa etagwo chronic ni tundu wa mutation ya kindu itagwo Philadelphia chromosome itagwo 922 mutation akorwo na mutation uri white blood cells cikaigiha muno and because of that ikarehe murimo uyu riu ku diagnose no ni bone marrow biopsy eyo tuuga na genetic test ya mutation uyu the important thing twa mutation ya tuga positive kwina dawa very targeted drug tago TKIs so kwina mithemba ingi but there is a program that dawa yo ni heagwo for free with one of the pharmaceutical companies tondu wamegura kwa pharmacy it is very very expensive na dawa yo ufatwa kumeria o muthenya for the rest of your life so ni very expensive.
I can imagine.
So there is a pharmaceutical company mehaga for free so kwena clinic haha Nairobi wakoro mutation yo ni positive na bone marrow ni it's positive for that CML kana chronic myeloid leukemia ni maheanaga dawa yo for free on a consultation free.
Kiria eroreri mangituhoya namba yaku Dr. Githaigari no tumahe nigetha hote kumerethera uhoro wa clinic icio.
That's okay.
Okay.
I will give you after the end of this program.
So tucoke hariri kana kiria gigutumaga yani rimwe kiria kiheaga stress uhoro wa thakame taru hemophilia turiga kumiaririria haha twiragwa ati arwaru acio mabataranagia ciringi 50 matheco cindano ciao mweri twekire mathabu mokaga 1.2 aria marabatara cia weekly na aria marabatara cia monthly na aria marabatara cia wiki ciokaga milioni 6.
Ona hemophilia a small plug kwina mithemba iria treatment ya hemophilia kwina iria ya dawa ya muthenya kana 3 times a week na kwina etagwo episodic wa bleed ukaheo dawa icio but the best one ni o muthenya niguo prevention of the bleeding but there is also Kenyatta makorwo na program ya hemophilia maheanaga factors icio for free koguo you can go there once you are registered na wa diagnosed na hemophilia ni masupportaga andu in fact majority of the hemophiliacs kwena Hemophilia Society of Kenya the clinic Kenyatta Hospital no thie ku twaithio.
Oh, thank you. Gucire ukae kaingĩ nĩ ũratuteithia nĩgetha ũgatwĩrĩra kũrĩa ona wahoteka kũrĩa nginya mbeca cirĩ. So transplant nĩ ũratinda ũkĩgweta ũhoro wĩgiĩ bone marrow. Andũ aya moka twakinya handũ nĩ ũrauga ũhoro wĩgiĩ bone marrow transplant na maũndũ ta macio. So bone marrow transplant na maũndũ mau mothe tondũ nĩ makinyĩte Kenya nĩ kũrĩ mĩthemba kana maũndũ.
So tucoke nini tuge leukemia na lymphoma. Treat leukemia na lymphoma wame treat na chemotherapy kwena kindu itagwo the first chemotherapy you give kana first line wame treat na ikirega dawa second line third line usually does not do very well. So that yone indication ya gumwitwara for bone marrow transplant. Lymphoma the same. The first treatment ne chemotherapy. So wame treat na chemotherapy igishoka kana kitago relapse. Relapse.
Nitaya shoka rigi.
Nitaya shoka rigi.
Nirahonete no
kwena mithemba iri kwena relapse ume treat igithie kindu itago remission kana cure afu icoke rigi. Kucoka rigi itago relapse kana ume treat the first time na ndikaigwe dawa itagwo refractory. So issue refractory relapse ni cio tucitwaragatwa for bone marrow transplant. Then kwena kindu itagwo myeloma kana multiple myeloma. It's a disease of the plasma cells. Plasma cells ni cells ya bone marrow the antibodies. Yeah, so ya murimo cio wa plasma multiple myeloma treatment ni chemotherapy. Tumaheaga chemotherapy for up to 6 to 8 months. Thutha wa 6 to 8 months twaraga bone marrow transplant. So when it comes to bone marrow transplant kwena mithemba ya different ya bone marrow transplant. Kwena kindu itagwo autologous bone marrow transplant. Autologous. Autologous means ni turahuthira bone marrow kana tobo waku niguo. Kwena kindu itagwo allogenic or allogeneic transplant. Allogeneic ni tobo ya brother kana one of your parents.
Mundu mutuainu. No ni muranyita na genes.
So then that allogeneic kwena mithemba iri. Kwena itagwo actually tatu. Kwena one of your brothers tweka kindu gitagwo HLA kana DNA matching. So kwena kindu gitagwo full match na half match. Niguo twe hamwe bado. Aya.
Full match na half match.
Full match na half match. Eno ni allogeneic niguo. So full match ni turoya genes ta 12 turashi match between we murwaru na one of your siblings.
Mutuainu.
So if they match fully tago full match. That is the most preferred. Then if you match half, we call that half match or haplo transplant. Just say half match, full match. We prefer the full match because kwena side effects here transplant na shikarago cie nyingi akoro in the half match but less in the full match. But anyway, in short. And then autologous to donate tobo yaku gutire reaction to donate yaku.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So but there are indications for autologous, indications for the what we call allogenic.
Allogenic ogahena mithemba itatu.
Okay, so kwena atatu etagwo syngenic. Syngenic ni identical twins.
Oh.
How many identical twins genetics ne same?
Yes.
So it's a form of full match, but called syngenic because majority, if they are identical,
Yes.
kuna twins watago fraternal, identical.
Yeah.
So identical, the genetics is usually the same. Okay, so you can easily transplant them without many side effects. Okay. So for merimota myeloma,
Yeah.
twekaga autologous. So oka twakohe chemo for 6 months kana 8 months. Tukago test that myeloma ni yathira kwa kana we kido itago remission. Remission ni kuga atiriri twakohe chemotherapy na neigua dawa na myeloma suppressed. Koguo tureka kido itagwo autologous transplant to further suppress the myeloma. When it leukemia twekaga kido allogeneic cause leukemia mutation ya thakame yaku. Koguo na koro tukohe chemotherapy mutation ya hau bado. Naona those blasts are still there. Koguo twekaga kido allogeneic, we remove all those cells, then we give you your brothers or kana your sisters cells. So yone leukemia then get organ neriko
tuga riri twina ithatu na ndirenda guthika hora tondu we autologous ici muraruta genes o cia mundu mukamwikira ucio na wogaitire na reactions nyingi tondu ciumite o cia mundu ugiti kuhurana twina allogenic na thiini wayo twina full match half match twina ino ingi sides
syngenic ya twins. Yeah, but isio neta ni muno ke tuge half match full match. Syngenic is neta full match to dore ne twin. But because ne twins identical twins turam here a special name called syngenic.
So dagika icio inya dagitari ni tureri horo wa bone marrow transplant ne topic imwe ya itariririo bururi wa Kenya yet ira affect andu aingi muno andu marauma guku bururi-ini guthie na nja na thaa ici no tuhote kumikira guku bururi-ini ngurie kaundu ona korwo hitari ngige gukorwo gatahana-ini no kwiragwo ni mogiko gutiri kiuria gikigu stem cell therapy and bone marrow. Yes. No, Anita, the unspoken language, the sign language.
So the bone marrow.
Hari hando shigiokanira kana is like.
Okay, kwena.
Yes.
Bone marrow ita bone marrow stem cells.
Todo no igwa. Stem mura harvest.
Ni stem cell turakwa. But me kuna kido ita gene therapy.
Gene therapy.
So gene therapy ni turoya genes yaku mutation area wenayo turamethondeka alafu turakocokeria icio stem cell twathondeka iyo niyo gene kwena kindu itaga gene editing, very technical names.
It's okay,
but the bone marrow, the transplant they're actually stem cells. They are a form of stem cells. Ici bone marrow ini tutirieka kindu no ku harvest na gukucokeria kana to harvest from your brother turakonegera.
So stem cell therapy na bone marrow transplant.
Okay.
He hadu shikona ini kana no tuge. So
is
bone marrow kind of yani kiuria kirenderea kuria riu gike kiume fiu riu nikiuma ni ndakiigwa nikiuma ici ciere ni ku harvest either thiini wa mundu kana handu hangi mukarehera mundu ithitigo
namenya kwena stem cells nyingi muno kwena stem cells cia skin cia bone marrow, so it depends na different indications. Okay, so depends on the type of stem cells ureda and the murimo ureda go treat. So but a bit technical, but yeah,
it's okay tondu ndakorie tondu riri ndanaigua andu mareko bone marrow transplant magacoka ningi makioro hena need ya gwiko stem cell therapy.
Stem cell therapy,
yeah, like ukarigwo
but bone marrow are stem cells, so you just
kana ne is it the same thing or the one
it's
all in one thing?
Yes,
ntore tukiuga thabuni wa liquid na thabuni wa kifadi.
In technical, there is a bit technical, but for the layman, yes, the same thing.
Okay. Thank you ndagĩtarĩ. Tutinarĩkia no mathaa rĩu ndĩrona ta mathira. Ingiuga thaa icio no ngĩũria kana malaria nĩ koĩ HIV. But bone marrow, I don't know why the government itaracaria budget ya kwereria ũhoro wa bone marrow. Nĩkĩ ũngĩenda mũkenya amenye so far and where are we? Tondũ wega twĩtĩkĩra atĩ technology rĩu nĩ tũkinyĩtie to mũhaka mũndũ ume bũrũri wa nanja agekwo bone marrow transplant.
Kwĩna, okay, for the general public rĩ, yes, nĩ twambĩrĩtie kũruta bone marrow transplant. Thibitarĩ itũ, so far I think 2024, 25, we've done the transplants, mainly for multiple myeloma. But capacity ekuo ya ku transplant ona ino leukemias na mĩrimũ ĩno ĩngĩ. Kĩndũ ndĩrenda kwĩra bũrũri rĩ, even if we cannot do it, uka consult tukwire yes, this one requires a bone marrow transplant. Okay, this one maybe there's a better way, and if you cannot do it here, maybe we can refer you somewhere else. Kira happen in Kenya re, ora mũndũ ena mũrimũ, the first thing kwĩna agents maroka tuthie India. So there is no research of the disease, there is no research there is a better treatment in Kenya, other forms of treatment. No, andũ aitũ mebelieve no gũthie India, no gũthie India. Ona korwo no rada gũthie India kana any other place, uka consultation twarie, we can give you some advice, we can tell you the good ones to go to, but as long as we are doing it here, maybe try us and we see we have gotten results citũ nĩ njega, nĩ comparable na cia kuria kũngĩ.
Okay. Rĩu ngũrie ĩno nĩ favor ndĩroria. No hote kuona mũrwaru rekwo bone marrow transplant, tũtikamuonania ũthiũ, tũtikamuonania identity ya marĩtwa, etĩkĩre tuone na wĩtĩkĩre tũke kwanyu theater. Mwĩna Dr. Gaciĩ nĩ mũrata witũ nake haha, tũke tuone bone marrow transplant on camera. Tuonie mwĩroreri ũrĩa bone marrow transplant.
It's something we can discuss after, because wamenya koragwo na patient privacy and data protection laws and indo cia icio. So there's something we can discuss, discuss na thibitarĩ na the patient themselves, if they are comfortable. I think we can see to demystify what a bone marrow is, because it's a very simple thing. Chemotherapy, bone marrow is like a transfusion, basically. So it's tikedo complex, na ti surgery.
Thank you, Dr. Githaiga.
Okay.
Tureru kuria tũngĩgũkora. Yes, tũngĩgũkora kũ, Dr. Githaiga?
Nairobi West Hospital. Ngoragwo na clinic go Monday to Friday 10 to 4 p.m. Thaa 10. Ona nyonaga patients go inpatient and outpatient.
Mwĩroreri nĩ ngwĩraga hĩndĩ ciothe ũtatiga ndakora, na gũtiga gũkora mũgĩkwĩugaga ũguo nĩ kuga atĩa ndũnahanda kĩndũ, koguo rũciũ ndũngĩ expect ũgathiĩ kũgetha tondũ natiga kĩndũ tĩri-inĩ. So na ithuĩ tondũ nĩtwatiga kĩndũ na nĩtuoĩ nĩ ũkũria ciũria, nĩtũgakora rũciũ ũrĩtĩra nĩgetha tũte ndagĩtarĩ nĩgetha ahote gũtwĩra maũndũ maingĩ na gũtũtarĩria makĩria mũno makĩria ũhoro wĩgiĩ bone marrow transplant. Ũgima mwega wa mwĩrĩ mwĩroreri, manĩ kĩrathimo. Rĩu rwĩmbo ngũtũra ngũinagĩra wĩnaguo ũgacokeria Ngai ngatho na ũkahoyagĩra arĩa matarĩ naguo, na kwangĩhoteka harĩa ũngĩkĩhota ũgateithia mũndũ ũcio. Nĩ mbeca cia ndawa gĩte mũteithie, nĩ magana ma kũrĩha mũrĩhire kaũndũ ũngĩka tu mũteithie ũgima mwega wa mwĩrĩ ũkorwo wĩ mwega, because angĩkorwo mũndũ wothe na afya twĩna bũrũri wĩna afya. Bye bye.